Architect Charles Webb, born in Suffolk, England in 1821. The youngest of 9 children, he attended the Sudbury Academy and was later apprenticed to a London architect. His brother James had already migrated to Van Diemen's Land and then moved north to set up as a builder in Port Phillip Bay. Charles decided to join James in Brighton in 1849, where they went into partnership as architect and surveyor. In 1853, Charles married Emma Bridge, and the next year James migrated back to England. Charles spent a short term in partnership with Thomas Taylor before his 2 sons decided to join his company. The Webbs went on to design some of Melbourne's most iconic landmarks, such as Wesley College, the Alfred Hospital, South Melbourne Town Hall, the Windsor Hotel, and the Royal Arcade, which was commissioned through a local design competition. Charles Webb's belief was to build something permanently rather than only temporary. He once wrote, "To be a good and clever architect, one must accumulate in the mind a great fund of materials to work on. Study well what others have done and make their ideas your own, and they, by study and application, will generate or engender others."
Walter Benjamin was a German Jewish philosopher, literary critic and essayist born in 1892. In the 1930s, he relocated to Paris, where he became fascinated with Parisian street life. He saw arcades as a city within a city, similar to that of the Royal Arcade, as it is located in the centre of the Melbourne CBD. With the rise of the textile trade, shops held lots of stock and needed a way to sell to the public. As a result of the Industrial Revolution, iron and glass became a primary building material for public or transitory space. It was this notion that Benjamin began his project, Das Passengenwerk, the Arcades project. These arcades allowed streets to be enclosed with natural lighting and open air away from the street smells of horses and pollution. These sheltered environments allowed climate control, leading to human comfort, and it became a breeder of harmony. Luxurious and desirable commodities were displayed in shop windows and was a way to bring people out of the privacy of their homes and into the public domain as a fashionable and social event. People would dress in their best clothes and gaze into the windows at these luxurious items. The Arcades project contributed to the rise of capitalism and created utopias, a dreamlike world away from the everyday. It is said that the widening of these streets was to accommodate a woman's crinoline.
Arcades such as the Royal Arcade were commonly designed in the Renaissance Revival style, derived from the Italian palazzo form, popular in the 19th century. The style became a symbol of the rapid development for the future of Melbourne City. It was said that, in long arcades, the Venetian embodied the movement of street traffic and the empathetic enclosure of public space. The opulent style symbolised a modern, sophisticated Melbourne, one full of worldly and upper-class inhabitants, not low-lying working class. The Renaissance Revival style is underpinned by the return of Roman columns, rounded arches, regularity, symmetry, geometry and proportion. As a general rule, Renaissance Revival buildings are limited to around 3 stories, as this is considered a perfect human proportion. Many other important buildings in Melbourne at the time were also designed in the Renaissance Revival style to display importance and grandeur. An example of one of these buildings is the Treasury Building on Spring Street, which was built during the Gold Rush. Similar to the Royal Arcade, it is an elegantly proportioned 3-storey rectangular building. It features 3 main entrances to the ground floor, central section portico, and an upper-storey colonnaded arcade. The facade of the building is made from locally sourced Bacchus Marsh sandstone.
In 1861, the Curran Iron Rolling Mill, Dudley Street, West Melbourne, was introduced, dropping the price of iron immensely. Cast iron architecture became the Victorian style for structure and decorative purposes. After 1860, cast iron supports were fashioned as an alternative to masonry, and with the introduction of wrought iron beams mid-century, an efficient prefabrication method of skeletal construction was now possible. The Royal Arcade features this wrought iron skeletal ornamentation accentuated by a high glass roof. The use of glass to front the internal 28 stores gives that Parisian feel, providing the perfect environment for the flaneur. During the 2000 to 2004 renovations, a checkerboard tiled floor was added, as well as new self-cleaning glass installed in the roof, and the addition of an annex and the link to Elizabeth Street gave way for more shops and shoppers.
Towards the Burke Street entrance to the Royal Arcade, set up high, there is a large clock which is flanked by two 2.1 metre high statues called Gog and Magog. The clock and statues were installed after the arcade's completion in the year 1892. Thomas Gaunt & Co., clockmakers and jewellers, had been original tenants of the arcade. Gaunt died in 1890, and the clock, although bearing his name on its black and gold face, is a tribute to Friedrich Ziegler, a German-born clockmaker who worked for Gaunt. Ziegler also designed many other public clocks around Melbourne, including the Flinders Street station clock. Every quarter of an hour since its installation, the clock chimes as the statues strike iron bells, resounding throughout the arcade to signify the passing of time. The statues, Gog and Magog, are pine figures. They were probably carved by Mortimer Jeffrey in his Lonsdale Street workshop. They are designed to be connected by wires to the clock, which operates from a machine room above. This allows them to thump the bells as the time ticks over. The characters are modelled on larger effigies in London's Guildhall. They are a reminder of the relationship between the British mother country and Australia.
In order of events, 1837 was the first land purchase, which is £20 by Joseph Moore. In 1855, second purchase by Simon Staunton at £650. 1868, the design competition was won by Charles Webb. In June 1869, construction began on the Royal Arcade. May 1870, construction was completed and opened by Lord Mayor Charles Amos. In 1902, the annex to Elizabeth Street was added. In 2002 to 2004, refurbishment of Royal Arcade, including the skylight work.
The Royal Arcade, 335 Burke Street Mall, is the oldest remaining retail arcade in Australia. Despite its many alterations, it still maintains its original elegant and unique appearance. It has always been a landmark of Melbourne's central shopping area. The intricate glass roof and ornate ironworks are indicative of the world's industrial age of the time. Still filled with boutique shops, and as Walter Benjamin described in Parisian arcades, plenty of flaneurs, under the Victorian Heritage Register, listed as a commercial building, the Royal Arcade is now a retail tourist hotspot and a must to walk through.